Welcome to the Self-Help Empowerment Lifestyle Podcast. My name is Lance William Green. I am the CEO of LWG Corporations. I'm also a published author of many books. All of my books are available at lulu.com/bookstore/Lance William Green. You can always contact me at lwg.corporationsgmail.com. Alright, so today on the Self-Help Empowerment Lifestyle Podcast, I was thinking of a few things. I actually started to mess around and make a little bit of techno trance style music. I was using some beat machines and things, and I was going to try using this Fruit Loops and this Caustic and a couple other piano apps that I have and things, and I was going to try to do that because, I really like that music. I thought about having some created, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to just do it. So I started to do it. And you know what? I actually started to make some pretty good stuff. I'm not ready to put it on here yet, but you know what? I tried doing some singing. I have this really cool Voloco app I was using. And I was just messing around. I know I have some songs and things wrote. I have to dig it out. I know I keep saying that, but I actually did a little singing today. And then I actually started to make a few techno, trance, IDM kind of songs. So I'm going to be doing that soon. But I actually started doing it. And you know what? The funny thing I was thinking about, a lot of things that I want to do or I think about doing, when I just do them, I usually do a pretty dang good job, even on my first shot. I've a lot of things I'm able to do. Not everything turns out perfect every time, but you know what? When I actually just start doing it and just do it, a lot of the things that I'm gonna do or start to do, actually turn out pretty good. So, sometimes I impress myself, but even though a lot of times I compete with myself, I try to better and better and outdo myself sometimes. And, I don't like to be where I would say that I am stuck because of perfection, that I don't do something because I'm trying to get it so perfect that I just spend so much time trying to perfect it that I never get anywhere. But a lot of things I do spend a lot of extra time on just to make them just right. But then sometimes I look at them and I find mistakes in them anyway. And I like to listen to some of my podcasts. I do realize that I do need a better microphone and probably a better recording app, and I probably need to start cleaning up some of this to make things sound better. Mostly I'm on the fly with everything the way I do it. I try to do everything pretty much in one take. So sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes I'm I need a drink of water, or I may even burp or something. Sometimes the things are like that. I don't like to cut things out. Sometimes I do piece things together, but I try to do things in one shot. So I learned a lot on the way, but sometimes they get easier and easier the more you do them. And that's the thing is, if you start playing, like, say, guitar, and you start playing around with it. The more and more you do it, the more and more better you get, and I think the same thing, applies to a lot of things, pianos, guitar, drums, even playing video games, I guess that's the way it works. You learn more and more, but you've got to start. You've got to get going and do it and, find the motivation to do it. I work on many things. So today I was so excited today. I actually got my new Crazy Cat Facts and Funny Cat Jokes book in the mail, and so it was awesome because I really wasn't expecting the package, and so it came and I was like, oh my gosh, awesome. And then I opened it up and it was perfect, and so it's super nice. The cover looks beautiful on it. There's a kind of little tweaks I could have done, but you know what? Even though it's it's good. It's very good. I may do a updated version when I can. That's the thing with a lot of my books. I'm so limited on the things I can do. I don't have all the tools and everything that you would think that I would. It's pretty crazy that I'm able to accomplish the things I am. I really am making the impossible possible. And, I have a tremendous roadblock in my way. I don't have access to things that you would think I do. It's a miracle that I am able to do what I'm doing. In the future, I'm going to be talking about everything and all the struggles I've had to do. Right now, I'm just going to have to stick with what I can do. I'm trying to make the best of it. I guess I won't say lucky, but I'm fortunate that I know the people I know and that I have the things I have. And, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for many things. I'm grateful for the choices that I've made that have led to the things I have. I've worked hard on a lot of things. Don't think things just fall right into my hands. They don't. I have to work 100 times harder than a normal person would just to do one little easy thing. It's pretty crazy how complicated it is just for me to get these podcasts on here and to do the things I do. But I'm learning, and the future is going to be better and better. I'm going to try to talk to some more of my other friends. I do know some other people want to get on here, so I'm going to be offering some other opportunities for them. I am going to continue with my exercise routine I'm doing, and then I'm going to start doing the book things. So I'm going to be doing like a little fusion. I have a friend that he actually made some other videos of his books and things, so I may be including some of that in the next few things that I've done. Maybe even this podcast. I'll let you get a little hear about my friend Derek Booker. He writes books too. He has Blueprint Builders. I know he has some other books. I don't know the exact titles of them. I do know that he goes hard with his Blueprint Builder series and his Blueprint Builder book. He's all about that in the business. So hopefully I'll be having him, or I will be putting some of his videos. He is a partner of mine. So I will be putting him in here if I can get him in here. I know he has some other channels that he does himself. So, I don't know, but, I had seen him the other day or today, and I had talked to him, and he wanted me to check out some of the videos that he did, and so, that's why I'm telling you about it. It's cool because I had some other friends that were saying today they wanted some of my podcasts, so I passed out some podcasts to some of my other friends. I'm starting to have a good amount of these on there now. It's pretty cool. I do like it. I enjoy creating things. I like listening to them. I'm trying to make things the best I can. And I know some of these might not be the best quality in the video and the recordings, but, I am working with the best that I have right now. It's very difficult for me to have the equipment that I need. And to get new equipment, I'm using a microphone that I built myself for this. I know, the quality maybe not as high as it could be. I don't know. There's many things that I got going on, that I can't really explain right now. But I'm working towards the future, so maybe soon that will be something that I can really do, and I'll have a whole studio and I'll have a whole recording thing. But I wanted to check in here, and I wanted to talk about me starting to make some of these techno beats and things. So it's kind of cool. I may include this one. It's my first one that I just started to do, so I guess it's not the best in the world. But you know what? It sounds pretty cool. I made a whole bunch of different little beats and put them together. So I have that. And, we'll see what happens. I have to dig out my songs. And I'm just going to go ahead and do it. But, that's the thing is, you fail at 100% of the things that you don't even attempt. So, it would be better to fail at something than to never try it at all, right? I mean, so that's one of the things that I need to start focusing more on is really taking advantage of all the opportunities that I'm creating. Sometimes it's difficult for me to do everything because I put a lot of time into my books. I put time into my working out. I have a couple other things that I need to do. I do have a few requirements per day that I need to do for myself and to meet, you know what I mean? So not only that, I do a lot of cooking and eating and resting and sleeping and a lot of thinking and things. And, I talk to a lot of people. I try to help a lot of people. And, I try to live by example. I don't just write about it. I live it. So, I'm trying to live out of it. Sometimes I'm writing things that pop into my mind that would be really good and good advice. And then sometimes I'm doing things and I'm thinking, oh, well, I better put this in here because it's good advice. Or, I'm learning all the time. I'm learning from myself. That's the craziest thing is, a lot of times I'm learning stuff while I'm doing, just living my life. I'm learning, I see a lot of things that sometimes I'm not even thinking about looking for. And then I start looking for those kind of opportunities and start having a vision of things, how they could be. So that's had a lot of things to do with, my podcast, the music, my books, the travel things I want to do. Of course, I play a lot of video games myself. I read other books. I read my own books sometimes. I have to make sure that everything is right in there and they're spelled right. So, of course, I get my proof copies. But, in the future, I do plan on doing a whole revamp of all my books. They're going to be all updated, second editions. I'm going to go through the covers and everything else because, like I said, I'm very limited on the things that I'm able to do now by myself. But, technology, everything that's happening now, I don't have all the tools. It's like I don't have the tools to run this podcast through, let's say, AI and have it cleaned up and made perfect, crystal clear, sterilized and everything. I don't have that. I don't have all that. I have to do everything manually. Like I said, you'd be pretty surprised at how everything comes together. And you know what? That's pretty cool because in the future, I will be talking about everything, the struggles I've had to go through and all that. I see a different future coming for me very soon. These podcasts, and they're going to go to videos very soon, I hope. And I'm going to be doing the full-on travel how-to videos, my business courses, my classes. I'm going to be going to a lot of places, doing a lot of cooking, traveling in motorhomes, and doing other things like that. I can't wait to do that. But I'm also going to teach everyone or take you all on my journey of basically starting from nothing. I'm going to start from zero, and then I'm going to do these podcasts on me rebuilding my life basically to hopefully, I know it sounds crazy, making $1 billion. I have some manufacturing ideas. I actually have some inventions. I now have 15 books. I have 12 paperbacks, so I have that. And I have some courses and things, so I'm going to be doing that. There's a lot of things that I'm going to be doing in the future to help other people, mainly people with drug and alcohol addictions and other self-inflicted problems. I want to help them, and that ties in with my business courses. But I'm also going to be doing a machine shop And then I'm going to be doing some drone stuff because of this machine shop. I can make a lot of drone parts and boat parts and car parts. And I'm also going to be doing a bunch of videos on motorcycles, engines, electronics. I'm going to be building some radios and things like that. And, doing all kinds of engine work and things. But I also want to get heavy into the industry of like computer chips and all that. That is way in the future, but I have that. I also have an electrical contracting company that I own. So I'm going to be probably going around and doing a lot of home repair, electrical kind of videos, installing, all kinds of things, ceiling fans, light switches, air conditioners, heaters, plumbing, all that. So home auto and motorhoming, travel, product reviews. I can't wait to get going on the CES shows and going to all the robotic shows and all that. I can't wait to do that. Plus a lot of fishing and hiking and other things. But this is in the future. This is my vision I'm seeing that I'm working towards. I'm breaking it all into small steps. This is a very small step of mine with these voice podcasts and my shorts and my books. It's just there's a much bigger picture involved in all this. But I did want to inform everybody about me doing my music and things and me starting to do that. And just to remind everybody, how you got to like take chances and not let fear control you. You know what I mean? That's one of the things is trying new things. And seeing if you're good at them, not procrastinating like I'm doing. I'm not really doing a very good example with all my procrastinating on the singing and everything that I should be doing. All right. So here's my first attempt at making a little bit of techno music. So I just started doing it, but I'm gonna try to do some other ones. I'm gonna try to use some other programs and things and. I don't know, trying to make better than this, but this is my first shot at it. So, all right, here we go. Here's some of my techno music. Alright, that was just me playing around with this beat machine, checking out different things, and pushing buttons and all that, try to make a little bit of techno music. I'm going to try to do some better ones. I'm going to start using this other program I have and start messing around with some more of these other music apps. I'm going to do a little more music myself because I do like the techno trance kind of EDM kind of type music, so it'd be cool to make some of that stuff by myself. So I think I may do that. I'm also going to try to run into my friend Rare still and see if I can get him to give me some of the stuff he made, and maybe he can show me how he's doing his, and then I can maybe learn to do it even better. So anyway, that's some of the techno trance stuff music I was making. I know maybe it's not that great, but you know what? That was my first attempt there. Remember, you can always contact me at lwg.corporationsgmail.com, and all of my books are available at lulu.com/bookstore/Lance William Green. So please remember to like and subscribe and check the channel often. Thank you.